Hello and welcome to TVP World. My name is Diana Skaya and I'm going to give you an update on our Midday Report. And bringing you first the latest updates from the front lines. It's been a night of relentless air raids in Ukraine. Russian strikes across the country have killed at least 5 people and wounded dozens more overnight and into the early hours of Friday morning, leaving a trail of destruction. Now, this has been one of the most significant attacks on Ukraine in recent months. Now, as the war-torn country counts the cost, European leaders prepare to respond.
Kyiv came under intense attack early on Friday. Kyiv Mayor Vitaly Klitschko reportedly said at least 11 multi-storey buildings in the city were hit during waves of overnight assaults. Children and a pregnant woman were among the 26 wounded. The State Emergency Service rescued more than 40 people in at least 6 of the city's districts. The capital's energy infrastructure was badly hit, leaving areas of the capital without power and heat.
I didn't hear anything. I just realized that my hair was on fire. I started to put out my hair like this. Then I realized that I couldn't see anything. I turned around and saw that there was no wall. My first thought was, I hope no one has died. Houses can be rebuilt, but people and animals matter the most.
It was a similar situation here in the port city of Odessa, where a strike on an energy site damaged a nearby residential building. President Volodymyr Zelensky, who visited injured soldiers on Thursday, said Ukraine was targeted by 430 drones and 18 missiles overnight. The repeated overnight poundings and the crippling effect on Ukraine's ability to keep people warm will focus minds when the defence ministers of Germany, France, Italy, Poland and the United Kingdom gather in Berlin. The so-called European Group of 5 will focus on strengthening European security and coordinating military support for Kyiv. For Ukraine's hard-pressed residents, help can't come soon enough.
Germany's 2026 federal budget is set for final approval and comes with a major boost in aid for Ukraine. Now, the 524.5 billion euro plan is 8 billion higher than the original draft and will significantly increase German debt. Germany's coalition government has agreed on an official budget proposal for 2026. Nevertheless, tensions remain high. Although Germany's finance minister, Lars Klingbeil, the leader of the SPD, says the budget manages to conserve necessary funds while also providing needed expenditures, yet critics from the Green Party and the left remain vocal. Key changes include billions in new loans for the military and infrastructure. Most notably, aid to Ukraine will rise by 3 billion euros, bringing total support to 11.5 billion for artillery, drones, armored vehicles, and replacement of 2 Patriot missile systems. The incoming Czech government has reversed course on its campaign promise to curb costly military spending. Now, despite pledging to cut expensive defense purchases, the ANO party will go ahead with the multi-billion euro F-35 fighter jet deal struck by the previous administration. Our correspondent in Prague, Andrew Sweeney, brings us the latest.
The new Czech government will honour a deal made by its predecessor to buy 24 F-35 fighter jets from the United States, a deal worth around €6 billion. That's according to one of its leading MPs.
During parliamentary elections in October, the ANO party, led by Andrew Babiš, which won a plurality of votes, campaigned on reducing expensive military purchases. It is now joined in a coalition government with the far-right SPD party, which has consistently campaigned on cutting defence spending and has long supported a withdrawal from NATO. However, according to Karel Havlicek, an MP and vice chairman of the ANO party, the F-35 deal is a fait accompli that the Czech Republic must honour.
The decision has been made about the F-35. At this point, let's not discuss what could have been done better. The Czech Republic has an obligation to the United States, and obligations must be fulfilled.
The acquisition of the 24 F-35 fighter jets was approved by the Czech Republic's previous government, led by Petr Fiala's ODS party, in September 2023. ANO, then in opposition, repeatedly criticised the deal. The F-35 F-35s will replace the Czech Air Force fleet of Swedish-made Saab JAS-39 Gripen fighters. By contrast, the Hungarian Air Force has elected to increase its Saab Gripen fleet. In September of this year, the Czech Defence Ministry also placed an order for 44 Leopard 288 tanks worth around €1.8 billion. The tanks are reported to arrive in 2028 at the earliest. The first of the F-35 fighter jets should arrive in 2029, with the last expected in 2035.
The ANO Party's nominee for Finance Minister, Alena Skelerova, has said the Czech Republic will only spend 2% of its GDP on defence, well short of the 5% sought by President Donald Trump. For TVP World, Andrew Sweeney.
Germany's far-right AfD party is once again making headlines. This time over controversial remarks made by the party's co-chair, who downplayed the threat from Russia and even going as far as saying that, quote, Poland may be potentially dangerous. Now, this next report takes a closer look at how those comments have stirred backlash within the party and beyond.
Putin hasn't done anything to me. Russia is currently not a threat to Germany, and Poland could also be potentially dangerous, claimed Tino Kruppala, co-chair of the German far-right AfD party, on a popular German television program earlier this week.
If AfD comes to power one day, we will come to this historic, awful situation that Poland repeatedly faced throughout its history, and it always led to tragedy, which is when we will truly have two enemies, both from the east and from the west.
But the daring remarks didn't go down as smoothly as the politician would have hoped. German media reports that Kruppala's declarations sparked criticism even within the AfD itself. An anonymous source from the AfD's Bundestag leadership told Bild that the party's second chairwoman and former candidate for German Chancellor Alice Weidel, quote, wants to bring the AfD closer to the United States under Donald Trump, and Kruppala's nonsense about Russia is becoming increasingly irritating.
Fortunately, the other co-chair, Alice Weidel, distanced herself a bit from those comments.
Another daunting development from the AfD ranks comes from the home of a politician who works with the far-right party, which was raided on Thursday on suspicion of support for a terrorist organization called the Empire Group. Its aim is ending Germany's free democratic order and replacing it with an authoritarian system of government modeled on the 1871 constitution of the German Empire.
The AfD not only questions the policies of the last 10 years, but it also questions the fundamental decisions made by the Federal Republic of Germany since 1949.
But the AfD has made historic gains in recent years, emerging as the second strongest political force at the national level. While its core base remains concentrated in eastern Germany, the party is now aiming to capitalize on a broader rightward shift in western states.
And staying on Germany, well, the country is drawing a red line when it comes to foreign tech. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz announced that Chinese suppliers like Huawei will be kept out of the country's future telecom networks, citing national security and digital independence as the reason. More in this next report.
European nations are growing increasingly wary when it comes to relying on foreign technology, as trade and geopolitical tensions threaten critical supply chains. And Germany is one of them. On Thursday, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz said Chinese suppliers such as Huawei will be excluded from the country's future telecommunication networks.
We have decided within the government that everywhere it's possible, we'll replace components, for example in the 5G network, with components we have produced ourselves. And we won't allow any components from China in the 6G network.
This is not the first time Germany made such a decision. Last year, the government in Berlin ordered telecom operators to remove Huawei equipment from their core networks.
As you know, we have very thoroughly examined the risks posed by critical components from two manufacturers, Huawei and ZTE, in German 5G mobile networks. We have now reached a clear and strict agreement with telecommunications companies. The critical components may no longer be used in the core network by the end of 2026 at the latest.
The then German Interior Minister emphasized that the move was related to national security, the same reason Merz cited when announcing Thursday's decision.
We must reduce security risks and, unlike in the past, avoid one-sided dependencies. We must become more independent and resilient in times of crisis. Today's threats underscore the importance of a secure and resilient telecommunications infrastructure, especially with regard to the dangers of sabotage and espionage.
Europe is one of the regions hit hardest by cyber attacks in 2025. That's according to a report from an American cloud security company. Just today, artificial intelligence firm Anthropic announced Chinese hackers used its Claude chatbot in what it believes is the first cyber espionage operation largely carried out using AI.
We disrupted a highly sophisticated AI-led espionage campaign. The attack targeted large tech companies, financial institutions, chemical manufacturing companies, and government agencies. We assess with high confidence that the threat actor was a Chinese state-sponsored group.
Chancellor Merz is expected to raise the issue of digital sovereignty, which is connected to national security, at a summit with French President Emmanuel Macron next week. As he stressed, it is not only about making Germany independent from China, but also independent from the US and big tech companies.
Here we are.
Estonia's Prime Minister Kristen Michal stated on Friday that NATO must keep the eastern flank at the tip-top of its priorities, adding that Estonia is leading by example when it comes to ensuring NATO's defense readiness.
Estonian Prime Minister Kristen Michal gave a speech discussing his country's defense commitments.
We must continue to work to ensure that the defense of the eastern flank is a clear priority for NATO and the European Union. The defense spending of both countries is growing immediately by more than 5%.
Michal went on to say that Estonia should be an example for NATO.
The defense industry in Estonia is developing the fastest. We have good opportunities for cooperation in the defense industry. We are doing all this for the secure future of Europe.
Michal's comments were made in Tallinn, where talks are being held to discuss bilateral cooperation, Rail Baltica, energy, and defense.
And moving on now to the world of sports. Poland's captain and legendary football player Robert Lewandowski plays against the Netherlands in Warsaw tonight. But as Lewandowski celebrates a stellar season, his fans are left guessing on what his next move will be. With over 600 career goals and his Barcelona contract expiring next May, this next story attempts to explore whether he'll stay in Spain, return home, or take on a new challenge abroad.
The team captain is 37-year-old Robert Lewandowski, the legendary Polish striker and sports influencer nominated for Poland's Athlete of the Year ahead of the national team's match against the Netherlands.
I'm happy that this year and the previous season were very successful for me. A lot of goals, many titles, and I feel that it's a confirmation that my form has been at a very high level.
One of the best players of his generation and among the top center forwards in football history, he has scored over 600 goals. He's been a key figure at FC Barcelona since he joined the team in 2022, following 8 years at Bayern Munich. But his journey in what some call the Hope of Catalonia could end soon, as his contract expires in May of next year. In recent days, there has been speculation about a possible move to the Turkish club Fenerbahce or to the Italian team AC Milan. His future in the Polish national team is also unclear, as teams' matches are scheduled only until March 2026. However, Lewandowski has refused to comment on the rumors about his future.
That decision, my future, I'm not able to answer right now. I myself don't know what I will want to do in a few weeks or months, or where I will be.
On Friday, the White and Red will face the Netherlands at Warsaw's National Stadium. Poland has won just 3 of their last 21 matches against the Dutch, though 2 of the last 4 ended in draws. A loss would cost Poland a direct World Cup spot, while a win could boost their chances of overtaking rivals in the qualifiers.
Well, there you have it. Lewandowski is going to keep his fans guessing. That's all for this edition of Midday Report. I'm Diana Skaya. Thanks for watching, and do stay with us here on TVP World for more news and analysis.